your CIGTV News Update, I'm Donna Bush. After spending last week in Europe meeting with high-ranking officials in the financial services industry, Cayman officials fly to New York for the annual Cayman Finance Breakfast this week. Attending the breakfast meeting were His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, along with Premier the Honorable Alden McLaughlin, Minister for Financial Services the Honorable Tara Rivers, Attorney General Mr. Sam Bulgin, and Head of the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority, Mrs. Cindy Scotland. A governor's office press release says His Excellency traveled to show his and the UK's support for the Cayman Islands financial services industry. This is the 6th year that Cayman Finance has hosted the event, where some 200 industry stakeholders attended.
Certainly the attendees, based on the feedback that I received at the end of the speech, were very appreciative of the information that was imparted. I basically gave a roundup of the activities of the government and the Ministry for Financial Services during the last year, and also discussed what we saw as the coming trends for the year ahead. I think that, as a government, we continue to show support and to promote the financial services industry, which is so vitally important to our economy. And this event is one of the ways in which we work in partnership as appropriate with the industry association, and in this case, Cayman Finance, to be able to speak directly to and with some of the key clients of our jurisdiction. CIMA was also present and gave an overview of the statistical trends of the past year, and also discussed some of the coming regulatory initiatives. And so in total, the audience received a good rounded view of the jurisdiction and the great work that we continue to do, and our intention to continue to be the dominant players in the financial services sector.
Minister Rivers was the keynote speaker, while Premier McLaughlin and His Excellency both made remarks. The aim of the breakfast meeting is to provide the audience with an overview of the industry, including a review of 2018 and a look forward to this year. Also making headlines this Wednesday, His Excellency Governor Roper has launched a new Instagram account to give people in the Cayman Islands, the UK, and elsewhere an insight into his role. A press release from his office says the new Instagram account sits alongside the governor's current Facebook page and Twitter account. The governor posts most of the content directly and will respond to comments when possible. His Excellency says, quote, I am a keen user of social media. I think it's an important part of my role to be accessible to all, and I think platforms such as Twitter and Facebook are great tools to achieve this. Adding Instagram, which comes with a different audience, means I can reach even more people, end quote. Finally, this Wednesday, the Department of Environment, or DOE, along with the Reef Environmental Education Foundation organization, has resumed its annual Grouper Moon research project here in the Cayman Islands. Work on the project will continue into next month. It started back in the mid-'80s and dubbed Grouper Moon when the Reef Partnership began in 2002. The project has taken on a special significance this year, though, with the recent change in the designation of the Nassau grouper from endangered to critically endangered species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Based on its research, the IUCN believes the Nassau grouper population has declined globally by more than 80% since 1980. Now, despite the organization's critically endangered species designation, though, DOE and reef research conducted in the Cayman Islands over the past decade has shown a noticeable resurgence in the sister island's Nassau grouper population, particularly off the coast of Little Cayman, where one spawning site monitored by scientists saw more than 6,500 grouper return in January and February last year. A separate spawning site off Cayman Brac counted nearly 1,000 grouper last year, after early counts came in at roughly half that number. Now, the current closed season for Nassau grouper in the Cayman Islands waters began back in December on the 1st last year and will last until the 30th of April this year. During the closed season, anyone who takes, purchases, receives, offers for sale, exchanges, or donates Nassau grouper commits an offense under the NCL. In addition, anyone who possesses or permits another person to take Nassau grouper from Cayman waters during the closed season also commits an offense. Minister for Environment, the Honourable Dwayne Seymour, said the recent critically endangered designation for Nassau grouper shows we did the right thing protecting them locally. Now, for more information about the handling or releasing of caught Nassau grouper and the Grouper Moon Project, you can contact the DOE by their website at doe.ky or their Public Relation Education Outreach Officer, Mr. Brent Fuller, by calling him on 244-5984 or 922-5514, or you can email brent.fuller@gov.ky. And that ends today's news update here on our CIGTV channel. If you missed it, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, wishing you a safe and wonderful night. Thanking you for joining me, and I hope, of course, you'll do the same again on Thursday evening. Until then, though, have a wonderful evening and bye-bye for now. Did you know that planning permission is required for a shed? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know planning permission is required to clear land by mechanical means? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required.
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman boaters use Channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!